We're always going to make mistakes. Life is about making mistakes and learning from them. In fact, if you push the limits and you try to do things that are very challenging, you're going to fail. The reality is within yourself, when you do fail, what kind of resilience do you have within you? What have you built up within yourself to try to solve that problem through failure, that if you do solve it, you can gain a tremendous amount of self-confidence and self-esteem because you realize that you are the solution, that you're not a victim, that you're someone that if you work hard, if you are humble, if you have self-awareness, if you have a growth mindset, and you have a relentless work ethic to figure these things out, you will overcome it. You aren't a victim of your circumstance. You are the solution to your life. It's your choice. It's your day. What do you want to make of it? Every day we got opportunities to choose.
Welcome back to the show today, guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I truly appreciate you. I thank you for coming back. I hope you guys really like the show so far. Yesterday's show was pretty crazy. You know, men, we go through a lot. You know, today's kind of going to move on. We're going to cover kind of like believing in yourself, you know. That's what starts with men. That's what gets us out of any hole that we're in, is we have to start believing in ourselves and knowing that we can make it through anything as long as we don't give up. You know, I appreciate all the love, all the support. I'm glad that it touched a few people the way that it did. That's the point of this show, is for us to connect and come together and for everybody to know that we're not alone in this world. You know, every single one of us wrestles with believing in ourselves, especially when life feels heavy, complicated, and downright discouraging. Now I'm going to speak to men for a second, because a lot of us are raised to carry everything quietly, to man up and push through showing cracks. But this conversation is for everybody, because belief isn't a gendered thing. It's a human thing. Believing in ourselves has to be all of us. Because when you don't believe in yourself, you fail to realize the things you can actually accomplish. Thanks for coming. Like, share, comment. Please share this with the world. Please, you know, just invite people. That's what this is for us to be there together, for us to be there for one another, for us to be human again. Thank you.
I want every kid out there who feels overlooked to know I was you. I was in your shoes.
This guy went to Manny Diaz football camp wanting to be a Hurricane. Miami said no. So what did the kid do? Kid goes on a journey.
So you're heading home to play in a national championship. You grew up just down the street from Miami's campus.
The truth is, you don't need the most stars, hype, or rankings. You just need discipline, heart, and people who believe in you. And you need to believe in your own abilities. I hope this moment shows you that chasing your dreams are worth it, no matter how big or impossible they seem.
That's why he won the Heisman Trophy.
All right. So, yeah, you know, believing in yourself can be hard, especially when life gets rough. You know, sometimes we tend to think that giving up is the easy thing to do. It's always the easy thing to do, because fighting is hard. Believing in yourself is hard. Knowing that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, it's hard to believe that, you know. Like I said, I was in a position where I couldn't walk before, and that was really hard. You know how many times I wanted to give up and not fight anymore. Just give up, the easy way out, not be a burden to people, not feel like you're worthless or that you're relying on somebody to carry your weight for you, especially when you have little kids. Like I said, I couldn't even get on the floor to change my son. He was about 2 years old, and he had to help me. So we spent a lot of time together, and he was my hope. You know, he was my dream. He was my reason. They're all a reason to fight. You know, our kids are our hope. They're our strength when we're weak. We got to believe in something, you know. You got to believe in yourself. You got to know that no matter how hard life is, there's always a brighter day around the corner. But you got to put in the work for that too, because nothing comes for free. Nothing comes easy. It's hard to fight. It's hard to fight back against the world that we live in that's constantly keeping you in fear. It's constantly keeping you down, constantly making you feel like you don't have enough time or enough money or enough status, you know. But you do, because you're a human being. So you always have purpose. You always have reason. And you always have love. There's love all around us. We live in so much hate that it's hard to believe that. But it has to start with you. Believing in yourself, believing that you could be the best version of you, believing that there's happiness. You know, we can see the negative in anything. There's always negative. It's easy to see the negative in anything. But the problem with that is when you start seeing the negative, you have 75 trillion cells in your body that are going to reinforce that negative feeling, that negative attitude. And it's only going to produce negative results. So if you look at the positive in things, the better part of things, you can see that there's hope in life. There's hope for you. There was hope for me, even when I felt hopeless. We almost lost our place a lot of times. And as a man, that's hard for you to deal with. When you're used to being the provider and the strong one, and you find yourself in a position where you feel weak or you feel like you're not going to succeed, those are the times that you have to look inward and find yourself, because that's where the real strength is. It's inside you. Life doesn't come with an instruction manual. We wish it did. And even if it did, there would be somebody who's cheating the game to make it harder for us. We're playing on All Madden and everybody else is playing on Rookie. It's hard. Seems unfair sometimes. But life's not about being fair. Life's about learning lessons and growing and achieving the things you want to achieve. So you have to do your best to find that in yourself, because that's where it starts. It starts with you. You have to be willing. You have to hold yourself accountable. If you're not somewhere you want to be, you got to change that. If you're in a job you don't like, you got to get a different job. If you're in a relationship you're not happy in, you got to leave the relationship. Life doesn't fix itself for you. You have to fix yourself for life. The life that you want. The beauty about this life is that we can create anything that we want. We can do anything that we want. But we have to believe that we can do that. And it's so hard to believe that with all the social constructs we've been taught our whole life, that we can't do this, we can't do that, or only certain people can do this, or only certain people can do that. No, they're all human beings. They all just have the willingness to work hard and do what it takes to be where they want to be. Do you have that willingness? Do you have that drive? Do you believe in yourself enough for that? Can you do that for yourself? It starts with looking in the mirror and being happy with who you see, because you have to accept who's in that mirror. No matter what you see when you look in it, you have to accept that, because that's the first step. Accepting what you see and loving what you see. Loving every part of what you see, even your flaws. If you don't like them, work on them. Anything you can do. If you feel alone and you feel like giving up, don't give up. You're not alone. We lose our jobs. We lose our loved ones. We lose partners. Some people even lose kids. That's got to be the hardest thing in the world. But you can't give up. You got to find hope. In God, there's hope. In love, there's hope. In you, there's hope. But you have to see that. You can't rely on other people to pick you up when you're down. You have to be able to fight even when you feel like giving up. You have to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you deserve this. You deserve a good life. You can choose to have that as long as that's what you choose. There's always going to be forces that work against us. That's what they expect. And they expect you to fold. But you don't fold. And you don't listen to the noise. You turn it off. All of the noise. The only way you can find out who you are is by turning off everything that you've ever known. Everything that you've ever thought, everything that you've ever learned, you turn it off. Find some silence. Tune yourself into you and not the world. Not the music, not the TV, not your surroundings, but yourself. Find out who you are. In silence is where all the answers lie. Because only in silence can you face the demons that haunt you. The demons that you ignore all day long with your music, in your TV, in your sports, in your fake news. Just to distract you. Whether it's from your own choices, your own feelings, your own fears, even your own life. Because you don't want to be in the relationship that you're in. You drink away your life. You take drugs. You run away. You take it out on your partner. Whatever the case is, it's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. If you're not where you want to be, it's because you haven't worked hard enough to be where you want to be. You know, the video of Tom Brady, he's the GOAT because he worked hard. He was drafted as like a 6th round undrafted pick or something and came out to be the best we've ever seen because he worked to prove that he deserved to be there. The Indiana quarterback turned down from Miami goes and beats them to win the national championship because he worked and proved he had to be there. He deserved to be there. Even if they wouldn't let him walk on a practice in Miami, there he was in Indiana, 16-0, wins the national championship because he believed in himself. When all the odds were against him, the world was against him, Indiana was a nothing team. And they came and they won everything. Believing in yourself sometimes, it feels like the biggest uphill battle. But in the end, we're the ones who are in our own way. Because we're scared. Because we're afraid. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the reason why 95% of us aren't doing what we want to do. Because we're afraid of failure. But in order to know what success is, you have to know what failure is. It's like everything else in the world. There's an opposite to everything. Without good, we wouldn't know what bad is. Without happiness, we wouldn't know what sadness is. Without darkness, we wouldn't appreciate the beautiful daylight. The world is designed to be like that. So if there's a negative in this world, that means that there's a positive. Every negative situation you find yourself, there's a positive. Can you see it? Can you find it? Can you fuel yourself with it and put that positivity towards productivity? You have the ability to do anything that you want to do. You're amazing. As men, We're the closest thing to God that exists on earth. People will say, oh, that's crazy comparing yourself to God. Is it though? Because men can create their own worlds. My entire reality is created because I created that reality. If I want someone in my life, I let them in my life. If I don't, they cease to exist in my reality anymore. Because that's the power you have to create a life, create a home, create a business, create cities, create countries, create societies, create empires. But you can't create enough belief in yourself to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and do what you got to do. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. I know you can do it. I love you. I'm here for you. So you're never alone. As long as you're willing to pick up that phone, which 99% of human beings are, all the way from ages 5 to up, everybody's got a cell phone. Here I am. I believe in you. I'll give you the hope that you need. Remind you of who you are. For women, believing in yourself matters. You're the spiritual beings of this world. Like I said, there's an opposite to everything. You're the opposite of men. You are the feminine to the masculine. That softness and that love that you carry inside you is what grounds men. It's what gives us peace. Not being angry and yelling at the world or thinking that the world is to blame for your problems. It's accountability for everybody. Don't believe that life's going to fix itself. We have to do something, not just for us, but for our kids. They are our future, and society is stealing them away. They make both parents work, so your kids are stuck at school all day, and who's raising them? The state? Then they get out of school and they're on their phones, they're on TV, they're with their friends. Are you with your kids? That's why you got to believe in yourself, so that they believe in themselves, so that they believe that they can grow up and change this world. Somebody has to. Our parents didn't. Now this generation finally has the sources of news to wake up and realize what's happening in the world. And they believe in themselves. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you're strong and that you're amazing and that you're beautiful. And that if you search for the positive things in life will happen for you, because that's all you see is the positive. It's easy to see the negative. It's easy to give up on yourself. But do the hard thing. Believe in yourself. Fight. Trust the process. Know that you are worth it. Know that you're not alone. Know that there's people here for you. There's people that love you. When you're in your darkest moments, know that there's always light. Every storm will run out of rain. And you wouldn't appreciate that sunshine without the deepness of pain. I love you guys. Thank you for the love, the support. I support you. I love you. Like, share, comment. Tell your friends to come. Tell them to tell our stories. Tell them I'm here for them too. I'm here for you. I'm here for everybody. I love you. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, I heard a quote today that hit a little different, and it said, sometimes nothing good happens to you because you are the good that happens to others. And man, that one stuck. Because if you've ever felt like you're out here giving it your all, showing up for everybody, holding it together, being the strong one, but nothing ever seems to come back your way, this might be why. You see, you are the blessing. The way you love, the way you protect, encourage, the way you stay solid in your character, even when you're tired. That's what keeps other people going. And maybe you ain't being overlooked. Maybe you were built to make an impact. And yeah, I know it gets heavy. I know that it feels unfair sometimes, you and me both. But don't let that make you forget who you